All right, is the sound okay, Pavel? Guys, I think we're live. Gosh, 18th of June, 8 o'clock, another webinar. Welcome, everybody. Quick check with you guys. I actually just walked in. Just want to know from you quickly, am I loud and clear? Can you hear my voice? Is the sound okay, in other words? Is the sound okay, and is the vision okay? So, having said that, good evening. Let me see what I have in my pockets. Nothing. That's good. Good evening. We're the 18th of June. We're going to talk about how to change your negative thoughts tonight. I see I have to turn on a couple of things here. Excuse me just for being a little bit late. Just want to see who is here tonight. And we see that we have 50 people on Zoom. My God, that's a big number. All right, some people have already responded. It's great. Normally I welcome everybody by your name. Yeah, but right now we're 50 numbers on Zoom. Do I say that correctly? And growing. All right, so we're on Zoom, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're even on YouTube. So it's great to have you here. Fantastic. Fantastic that you came up in big numbers. Lovely to see that. And actually, we're going to do a lovely webinar tonight, all about how to change your negative thoughts. Now, you might wonder, how the hell am I going to get rid of my negative thoughts? How am I going to get rid of that? Is that even possible? So we're going to look into that tonight. And then basically from my own experience and from what I have seen with other people, it is totally possible. So I'm going to let you in on that tonight. It's going to be exciting data. First of all, let's do a quick, very, very quick introduction round. I'm very curious where you guys are from. Number one, where you're from. Maybe you want to put something in the chat and just to get acquainted. And the next thing is, what brought you to this webinar? Is there a specific reason that you came tonight? Is there something you want to find out? Something you're struggling with, a certain condition you want to change in your life, you're simply looking for information, maybe you want to help a friend, maybe it's something for you, or what got you here? What is it that made you attend this webinar tonight? I'm just going to have a glimpse at what's going on in the chat. Lovely to see everybody responding. All right, UK, Northeast, Barcelona, another one from Barcelona, UK, Swindon. All right, I suppose that is also UK, right? Just thank you for reminding me. I'm Dutch myself. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been in Ireland right now for about 3 years. Before that, lived in Holland, Belgium, Denmark, Sweden, Caribbean, Venezuela, Mexico. And basically did a big tour over more than 20 years to finally end up here. I'm in Ireland right now since the last 3 years. Love it. Weather is not always super deluxe, but friendly people, a lot of green, a lot of scenic views. Absolutely beautiful country. All right, Ireland, Southampton. Okay, a lot of guys from the UK. All right, and Italy from Sylvia, but living in the UK. Fantastic. And you say webinars to gain experience as a life coach. Beautiful. I love that. That's great. Then we have Amar from Dublin. Fantastic. All right, we're in Dublin 24, Amar. All right, everybody tells me I am negative. Okay, good. So Nicola, let's do something about that. We got Andre from Germany. So, willkommen. Herzliche Grüße. That is nice. All right, guys. Okay, keep ending relationships because I focus on the negative, not positive parts of the partner. All right, Vivi. Good. I hope you're going to get some answers to that tonight. And from Spain, living in the Netherlands, Rosa Maria. Rosa no Moriña. Muy bien, me encanta. Good. All right. Oba. Constantly switching back to negative thoughts despite trying. Okay, I want to be more assertive, not happy at work. Mexican, living in Dublin. Yvonne. Muy bien, Yvonne. Me gusta mucho. Bueno. Okay, so I'm going to be using this particular book tonight. It's a sensational book. It's called Self-Analysis, and it helps you to dig into yourself, understand yourself better. In my personal opinion, it is one of the most underestimated books of all time. One of the most underestimated books of all time. That stuff does miracles, and I'm going to show you that tonight. I'm going to give you a glimpse of it. But first of all, my own experience with that book, I'm going to give you two examples. Back when I was living in the Caribbean, my wife, she was actually giving lessons to adults. And at some point, she had this lady that was just apathetic, hopeless. She couldn't do anything with her. So at some point, I was sitting in my room working, and she brought me the lady. She said, Eric, could you talk to her? And I happen to have a little bit of a training in the field of the mind. Actually, my background is in engineering and economics. But at some point, I just took the whole thing sideways again. I want to know about the mind and life. Yeah. So actually, I jumped into that. Got a hold of that book, and it actually has some processes. Now, what was going on with this lady back then on an island called Curacao? She had just lost her job. She was about to be evicted from her home, and her boyfriend had actually said goodbye to her. So she said, Eric, I have nothing to live for. I have sleepless nights. I'm just crying all the time. I don't know what to do with my life. I just feel like I want to jump off a bridge. Now, believe it or not, the book actually has processes to cheer a person up. And so we ran one of these processes. And we ran for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And she was quite okay after that. She had a smile on her face. Things were no longer doom and gloom. Things looked a lot better. Now, I was very surprised a week after when she came back to resume her classes. And I walked over and said, how are you doing? And she said, I have no clue what happened to me. I have no clue. I was ready to jump off a cliff and end my life. I had nothing to live for. And over the last week, I've been whistling, I've been singing songs. I have not had a single sleepless night. I'm quite cheerful. She said, I honestly don't know what happened to me. And I knew it was because of these processes in the book. A few years went by, and I called up a person who had actually bought the book. And I just checked out with him, said, are you actually using it? He says, no, I haven't even touched it really. It's all right. So it's about 6 o'clock. Why don't we both have some dinner? I'll call you back at 7, and we'll do something on the phone. So actually use the same process on the phone. We asked the questions. We did the process for about 45 minutes again, and it became awfully quiet. So I asked him the question, because on the phone, you can't see what is happening with the person that is receiving the process, right? And I said, so what's happening? And he says, I'm glad you're asking. He said, I can tell you, for the last 20 years, I have been on my bed. I get pain treatments. I'm normally in a chronic pain. I can hardly move my body. And now I feel so relaxed. I feel like I'm lying on a stretcher on a beach. I'm so relaxed. I have no pain at the moment. And he had a complete relief. So, just 2 stories. I got many more, but the book actually tells you how to use this on yourself, and even how to use this on somebody else. And it is life-changing. That's what I can tell you. Now, it might be a bit far-fetched to take that concept like, whoa, you know, you can actually go from there all the way up. Is that even possible? Yes. Yes, but you actually have to find out for yourself, right? So I'm just going to give you some snippets, and I hope you can actually think with the information. We're going to keep it very, very simple. By the end of the evening, I'm going to give you a link, just in case that you feel like you want to have this book. I'm going to give you a link and my personal contacts, so you can actually ask me questions, order the book, do whatever you want. All right, now, a quick demonstration, yeah? Because we're going to be talking about, let's say, good moods, bad news, bad moods, negative thoughts, positive thoughts. This has to do with vitality. Yeah. Vitality is a very, very fancy word. It comes from the Latin vita, which means life. Or in other words, how much life energy do you possess? And that life energy, does that actually fluctuate? Does that change? And we're going to have a look at that. So here's an example. Here's an example that we're going to take Joe. Let's say Joe is an American citizen. He's got one of these American mailboxes, you know, on a pole. And he walks out of the doorstep, walks over to the mailbox, and actually he finds an envelope. And it's got very, very bad news. Now, a question for you guys. How is this going to affect Joe's emotional state at that moment? How is that going to affect his emotions? Very curious what you guys think. In the meantime, I see that we have people from Algeria, France. All right, Phil says, okay, he's going to get negatively immediately. He'll be slashed. He'll be shocked, right? Triggering anxiety. All right, yeah. So a lot of things are going to happen the moment that he gets very, very bad news. All right. So his emotion is going to sink. Yeah, it's going to tank. Now, let's say the next day, I'm going to draw that mailbox here now. Let's say the next day, he gets another envelope, but this one's got actually very, very positive news. What is going to happen now to Joe's emotions, to his emotional state? When he gets that positive news, what is going to happen? How do you think it's going to make him feel? Feel free to pop something in the chat. Basically, I need to announce as well, Pavel is here. So that's my colleague. He is a co-host, and he's actually over there. In case you have any question, anything personal that you want to ask, I might miss it, but he will actually be there to help out as well. All right. So maybe that will comfort him. He might feel relieved. If he's a pessimist, he would find something negative about the envelope content as well. Very interesting. Yeah. So we got a few options. The majority here of the people would say, okay, most likely his emotion is going to improve a bit. Nevertheless, Sayantani, that is actually a very spot on answer. You got that beautifully worded. Okay. Now, so in other words, some bad news is going to get him down, and some good news is going to lift him up. In life, we actually see these emotions fluctuating all the time. We're kind of like roller coastering, right? We get a bad news and we start to roller coaster. Now, imagine that the mailbox is a person. And now you actually see that it is very good to know certain people, and it's also very good to not know certain people. Some people specialize in giving you bad news. Some people actually specialize in giving you compliments and try to cheer you up and try to actually encourage you to do better, achieve your goals, and what have you. Right away, we see a difference here. But when we're actually interacting with both, we're going to see that we're going to be doing ups and downs in life. Now, a quick question. Do you know somebody, maybe in your social circles, family, work relationships, do you know somebody who's in good moods most of the time? Like happy, cheerful, happy with his work, happy with his family, happy with his life. Do you know such a person? Do you know people? Do you know a person who is cheerful, happy most of the time? Yeah? Okay, Vladimir, a co-worker. Very good. Right now, Denise, nobody. All right. Well, it would be good, Denise, to know a few of those people, to have a few of those people around you. So, quick question here. Yeah. For those people who have not responded, that's all fine. Co-worker, I think they are pretending. All right. So here's something that you could actually observe in these people, right? If they're in good moods, if they're happy, do you see that that particular person, has the energy to do things, to accomplish things, to get things done? Do you actually see that these people have energy? They get things done, or they can actually produce a lot. Yeah? All right. Sheda, you said yes. All right. Vladimir, yes. All right. So it's an indicator, yeah? It's an indicator there that if they're happy, they're cheerful, there's some more vitality there, yeah? Some more life energy. Now, let's take another example. Do you know somebody who's always moaning, always complaining, is never good enough? And this person is just criticizing and grumpy. Do you know a person like that? You know somebody who's like always moaning, complaining, grumpy, criticizing. This is wrong, that is wrong, you are wrong, right? Finding fault. Yeah, most definitely. All right, another co-worker. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all right. I love the smileys with the tears. Yes, a few co-workers. Now, all right. Let's have a quick look at their performance. Now, if you honestly look at them, what do you think? Do these people actually accomplish much? Do they have the energy really to tackle a lot of things and get things done and accomplish things? Do they actually handle work? Do they handle life? Not really, all right? Okay, good. Thank you for the answers, guys. So I'm going to take you to a little scale that we're going to put on the display for you, and it's a vitality scale. Yeah, you will find yourself somewhere on that scale, and that's the tone scale that Pavel is going to put up right now. Meantime, I'm going to wipe the board. All right, so here is a scale, and on the top of the scale you see happy, enthusiastic, followed by conservative, bored, antagonistic, hostility, anger, fear, grief, hopelessness. There's arbitrary numbers there, yeah? 4.0 refers to happy, 1.5 refers to anger, and 0.05 refers to hopelessness. These are indicators for how much vitality is actually in that person. The book that I held up at the beginning, it goes into great detail on this scale, right? Now, we'll take a very, very simple example. Yeah, and so you can actually think with it. Let's say you take a happy, an enthusiastic child, yeah? And this child's just running around, he's got a lot of energy, you know, is building, I don't know, building castles in the sand and racing around, and he's got, you know, can live on one sandwich the entire day. He's got a lot of energy in there. So it's close to 6 o'clock. He sees his friend Peter walking by with an ice cream, and he goes like, "Whoa, I want an ice cream too." So he's running over to his mommy. He's running home. He's running to his mommy. He said, "Mommy, my best friend, Peter, he's got an ice cream. Can I have an ice cream?" So, now, you may imagine, 6 p.m., mom is not really in the mood to give him an ice cream because, you know, 6 p.m., that's dinner time. So, mommy says, no, Joey, no, because we're going to have dinner. We're going to have dinner. So, this is not a good time for ice cream right now. Okay, what is going to happen, guys? What's going to happen with the little boy? Is he going to stay enthusiastic? Is he going to stay happy when he gets a no to his request? What do you think is going to happen? Now maybe you can predict more or less where he's going to go to on that scale. Is he going to stay at 4.0? Is he going to drop to conservative? Is he going to drop to being bored? He's going to drop to antagonism. He's going to get angry. All right, good. So here's the thing. Yeah, let's say, thank you for your answer, Kosheda. Thank you for your answer. Now, let's say that ice cream is not really that important to him. Not that important to him. And so he said, Mommy, I want an ice cream. My best friend's got an ice cream. I want an ice cream too. And Mommy said, no, you can't have one because, it's about time. We're going to have dinner soon. But after, you're going to have your ice cream. If it's not super important to him, he probably gets bored a little bit at that moment. So, okay, all right. And just for a little moment, he no longer has anything to do. He had a game before. He was cycling. He was building castles. Now he can't have an ice cream, and he's got nothing to do, right? He's got no immediate goals. That's what you see in boredom. People who are bored, they don't have any immediate goals. Whereas a person who's enthusiastic, he's thinking with all kinds of goals that he wants to achieve in life. All right, now let's say the ice cream was very important to him. Now, he's probably going to drop a little bit lower. He says, but why can't I have my ice cream? Peter has an ice cream. I never get an ice cream. And he's actually dropping, just like you say, to 1.5 to anger. Now, what is going to happen if he pisses off his mom? When his mom goes, can you shut your mouth? You're not going to get ice cream. I told you. What is going to happen now? Where's this emotion going to go now? What do you guys think? All right. I might become afraid, yeah? Might go into hostility. Exactly. All right. Well, it all depends, right? It all depends. If he can rebound from the bad news, indeed, he might go to hostility. However, the mom is quite persistent, and he actually feels he's not going to have his ice cream. So he's got a loss. He loses something that he really wants, and it's gone. He's not going to have it. He thought he had it, and now it's gone. It feels like a loss. When you're losing something, you end up in grief. Say you lost your pet, like a pet dog, or you lost a person that you were really attached to, or you lost your job, or whatever. Something, you lost something, and the emotion that accompanies that is grief, is sadness. Now, so this little boy, he wanted to have an ice cream. He was very happy and enthusiastic. He asked for the ice cream, then he turned to anger, then he turned to grief. All that happened more or less a split second. We could say in 2 minutes, he dropped from happiness to sadness. Amazing, right? Just in 2 minutes, he dropped from happiness to sadness. All right, now, there's many emotions in between. Basically, how this works is that, let's say you've been happy because you've been a kid, right? And you could do whatever you wanted to do because you didn't have to pay any bills, right? You didn't have to you didn't have the kind of responsibilities of an adult, so you could pretty much operate freely and enjoy life, be happy. Now, if you would lose that a little bit, you become conservative. A lot of company owners, you will find over there, they were enthusiastic, right? And then life beat them up, and then the person said, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit more careful now. I'm going to be a bit cautious. I'm going to make sure I study all the laws. I know what I'm going to be up to, because I don't want to have any sudden surprises. So I prefer to go slowly, yeah, but be more secure than go fast, yeah, and go flat on my face. So a person becomes conservative when he loses some of that happiness. When he loses this contentness, which is conservatism, just being contented, then he gets bored. There's no immediate goals inside, right? It's just lying there on the sofa and got nothing to do. When he loses that, he becomes antagonistic, which is a fancy word for hostile, hostility. And a person who's antagonistic, he criticizes a lot. He wrongs a lot of things. He will find fault with you, find fault with the employer, find fault with the colleagues, find fault with the government, find fault with the country, find fault with everything. Nothing is really right for the person who is antagonistic. Now, that fans out because he will actually indicate a lot of sources and things that he's in disagreement with. In anger, he channels all that disagreement and all that fury to one source. That could be you. Now you shut up! And he funnels all that energy to you, that rage. Instead of fanning it out in 2.0 antagonism, he's now basically channeling all that anger to you. But when he loses that, he goes to fear. He starts to become very afraid of life. Below that, you have grief, and then the person actually gives up. Now, like I said, this is a simplified overview, and like in the picture here before, it fluctuates. You get good news, you cheer up. You get bad news, you go down. And when you go up, you behave in a certain way, much different than when you go down. You will behave again in a different way. The book that I refer to tells you how you will behave. Okay? So it tells you there's like a fluctuating emotion, but if you look carefully, you'll find out that you're somewhere there on an average. Everybody's got a point there on that scale where he is on average, right? So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. We can keep the picture there, that's fine. So let's imagine, here's a question, yeah? Let's imagine we're gonna draw a line, yeah? We're gonna draw a line anywhere on a number, on an emotional tone, or between emotional tones, right? But we're gonna draw a line somewhere. So above that line, things tend to be more positive and more survival for you. And below that line, things tend to be more negative and they're going towards more destruction for you. Where do you think we need to draw that line? Where do you think we need to draw that line? So imagine we're gonna draw a line here on that scale. Above the scale, things start to work out well in life and become more survival. And below that line, things start to go sour and become actually more destructive for you. Where do you think things start to be more positive, and then below that line, things start to go more negative? Okay, so Phil says between 3 and 4, right? Maria says under conservative. Okay, all right, interesting. Let's get a few more answers, guys. Let's find out. Let me have a little sip of tea. Made a nice ginger tea for myself, good for my throat. Because I have to talk so much, right? All right, good. So, after board, right, okay. Rochella, thank you, Rochella. And indeed, we're gonna draw that line just above 2.0. Just above 2.0, the person is actually working towards more survival. Now, obviously, a person who is bored doesn't get a lot done, but he's not very destructive in his actions. As you can imagine, the more you go up, the more you're going to get done in life, and potentially the more success you can have. From 2.0, from antagonism, hostility, more down below, we're going to be focused on more destructive kind of creations. And so above the line, let's say above 2.0, yeah, boredom, conservatism, contentness, that is, happiness, cheerful, enthusiastic, yeah, that person has more energy to get things done. So in other words, his actions will be more positive than negative. He might still engage in negative activities like drinking a beer, getting stoned, and these kind of things. That could happen, right? But in general, his actions will be more positive and constructive, more than destructive. From 2.0 down below, the actions, there can still be constructive actions there. The person can still excel in certain things that he does at work, but overall, the result of that person toward other people around him will be more destructive than constructive. Now you can actually see a very interesting phenomenon. A person who's up on that scale, he gets happy when he accomplishes good things. But funny enough, from antagonism down below, you can actually see a person who gets happy by doing something destructive. You recall a moment that you were so happy that you had to break something. You say, yes! And it felt like a release, right? You felt like, wow, I broke it. Good for you, right? When you had that split moment that you felt like, makes you happy to destroy something, right? So likewise, down below, a person can be perfectly happy, which is a fake happiness, to feel drunk, to feel stoned, to see somebody else being drunk, to feed him, some drugs or drinks or whatever to get him drunk, stoned or whatever, makes him kind of happy. It's a fake happiness. Now, what we want to know, and why is this so important, is that all of us were somewhere on that scale on average. Now imagine that you could actually move up and become more successful in life. Yeah? Let me see. So, just to round it off, let me ask you a question. You can still stay there. So here's a question for you guys. Yeah? If you just look at yourself, do you easily go into action? Do you easily start something? Yeah? And you have energy throughout the day, and do you get a lot done? If that is so, you're pretty high up on that scale. Now, if I would ask you to do past losses, failures, still affect you? Are you hesitant to do things? Then you're more low. Yeah? Fortunately, that can be improved. Okay? So I want to show you something else now. We're going to take this graph away. Right? So, all right, that's true. Depends on the days. Let me see. Hubbard. Depends on the days, but I jump back from anger part. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. That's understood. Now, so if you would ask anybody, just anybody, this question, if such and such a happening would not have happened in the past, would you be happier today? So if a certain occurrence wouldn't have happened in the past, would you be happier today if that specific thing wouldn't have happened? You know what? 95% of the people will say yes. So what is going on here? So let's say we take this vitality scale again, right? Vitality, very high, lower. Over time. So you're pretty happy. something happens, some kind of a loss, some kind of a misfortune, some kind of an occurrence that is majorly upsetting you in some way, and you lose a portion of that vitality, kind of like suddenly. This is like a game changer in your life. You drop and you continue, but you don't know how to rebound. So life goes on like that. Who has witnessed this? Who has seen something like this? All right, Phil, definitely. Me, right. Ariel. Okay. Yes. Yes, husband attacked me. Sorry to hear that, baby. Everyone, I guess, yeah, just have it. Just have to take it till you make it. All right. Okay. So, here's the thing. And this is quite interesting. You know, that vitality that you had is not gone. It didn't go anywhere. You may have the idea that it dropped, which did, right? It did drop because you dropped in emotional tone. You were happy, and maybe right now you feel you're afraid about life, or you're upset with life. But the truth is, your vitality has not gone. It is still there. There's this incident that kind of like insisted your vitality, and is actually suppressing you. It is putting you down in a different emotion than you were before. Right? So maybe because of that, you lost some confidence. You felt you could no longer really be happy. Maybe you felt empty, as in a void. Something changed in you. You were no longer the same. Now, it's not gone. Something happened there that we need to undo. And it can be undone. So now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know that it is very unnatural to be unhappy? Do you know that it's very, very unnatural to be unhappy? Did you know that? Do you know why? Do you know why it is so unnatural to be unhappy? Pop an answer in the chat. Do you know why it is so unnatural to be unhappy? All right, it's so strange, yeah? It takes more muscles to frown and to smile. We get a smiley again. All right, I love that. All right, it's so strange, yeah? Indeed, it's very strange, yeah? Well, do you know, you want to know the answer? The answer is very simple. You don't want to be unhappy. So it's very unnatural. It's very unnatural to be unhappy if you don't want to be. That is like saying, I'm shy. I'm very shy. I feel so shy. So well, do you want to be shy? No, of course not. Well, it's very unnatural to be shy if you don't want to be. So we need to find out why this happens. Yeah. So I need to cover a little bit about the mind with you. Yeah. We need to get a bit of an idea. How does the mind work? How does the mind work? So let's do a little exercise here. Let's do a little exercise. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of primary school. Think of primary school for a moment. See if you can actually get primary school. See if you can actually retrieve the memories, your recordings. Now, can you see the playground? You don't have to answer in the chat, but can you see the playground? Can you visualize the playground again? Right? Can you see the classroom again? Right? Can you see the blackboard? Can you see where the teacher would sit? Would stand, perhaps? Can you see the building. So I'm going to wipe the board. But in the meantime, who actually got some pictures here? Who actually got visualizations of primary school, the playground, the building, the classroom? Who actually got pictures here? And I see we already got a few yeses. All right, beautiful. Let me see. Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic, guys. So the answer is very simple. That is your mind. Your mind makes pictures. How does it work? You come home, you put your keys on the dresser. Now you go to the living room, you go to your bedroom, you take a shower, you get dressed, you're ready to go and leave the house. You're going to do some shopping. You just check your pockets carefully. So, oh, what did I do with my keys? You're just going to contemplate for a moment and think for a moment, and you're going to get that picture again. The moment you got home, you put your keys on the dresser. Your mind will actually give you the answer. You'll get the picture. You actually have these recordings. So your mind is there to help you to resolve problems with relationship to survival. So how does it work? That's your mind. Your mind just makes a whole bunch of pictures. You could compare it to like one of these reels that they used to have in the cinema with a big tape on it, right? Footage, right? With all these pictures nicely put next to each other in time. Yeah, that is your mind. Your mind makes pictures. Now, these pictures happen to be quite special because you cannot touch them, right? You cannot touch them. You can't put them on the scale. You can't weigh them, right? You can't size them up, really. But you can perceive them. You can actually, you can experience them. So we're dealing with something that appears to be there, and at the same time, it appears to be not there. So you look at primary school again. You can clearly see the classroom. You can imagine it. Just pops up right in front of you. You can say, well, you know, the blackboard is like 5 meters away from me, right there, and the door will be over there, and there's all windows over there. At the same time, there's nothing there. So there's a somethingness and a nothingness combined. That's why we call these mental images. These are mental images. Right? Now, let's write that down. So we actually have all these mental images just with us all the time. Wherever we go, we got these pictures with us. Now, what happens if you think back consciously, unconsciously, inadvertently of a moment of a loss? Let's say at some point you lost a family member, a partner, a dog, something, a possession that was very, very dear to you. And let's say you think back of that moment. Not on purpose, maybe you did. You think back of that moment of a loss. What is going to happen to you emotionally? All right? So it causes negative feelings. Yes, it drops. Exactly. All right. So here we're going to get negative thoughts. Something interesting here, because it happens on full automatic. It happens on full automatic. So here's an emotion. Let's say over there we have an emotion, and that emotion is painful. It is painful. And this is because, you know, there was this particular family member that used to drink out of a certain cup. Always had his tea or her tea out of a specific cup. But that person was very dear to you. Now, at some point, you see that cup or a very similar cup again, what is your mind going to do? Mind is going to get triggered. All of a sudden, if you want it or not, it makes a full automatic connection. Makes a full automatic connection to this thing. Say, hey, there was a cup and a saucer in that specific moment. And all of a sudden, you start to feel a little bit sad. But hang on, that doesn't make sense. This is unnatural because you don't want to be sad. Now, if you choose to be sad, that's all fine. But if you didn't want to be, and it just happens on full automatic, then say, hey, I'd rather get this out of my system. What happens if I have to speak in public and I get bloody nervous and I can't talk? That's unnatural. I'm going to go to a job interview and I'm kind of like scared of the person who's sitting in front of me. Well, that's not natural because something is happening on full automatic there. So, if you just think with the idea that, you know, there's a lot of things that we want to do, and we don't do them. And we sometimes engage in the stuff that we don't want to do, even the embarrassing stuff, and we do that. It tells you there's something a little bit messed up in the mind that makes that we only use like this much of our real potential. We got so much. Well, how come we stop every time that we want to do something positive or constructive? And we go into these negative emotions. Oh, I'm not good enough. I wasn't born out. I wasn't born to do this. I'm not cut out for this. You know, I have a lack of confidence. I know I have no training in this. I have very little experience. Oh, he can do that, but I'm not good at it. Well, we want to get all these negative thoughts out of our system. So, what is going on in a nutshell? That is that we actually have experienced very nice moments in our life, pleasure moments, moments that we did well, that we felt good, that we achieved something. So, you could say a lot of positive things that happened in our lives. And then there's a couple of negative things. These negative things, when they actually get reactivated, they pull us down. Okay, so if that's how it works, then how do we get out of that? How do we get out of it? Now, I want to do a little process with you so you can actually see, you can actually be more in control of your mind. You can actually be more in control of your mind than you probably even thought. That's where it gets really interesting. Now, just saying, let me see, it's 10 minutes before 9. We may run a little bit of extra time. I actually want to get a nice process across to you guys. And I'm going to start with this one. Yeah? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of a holiday. I'm just going to give you a minute. Any holiday that comes to your mind, just think of a holiday. Think of a holiday and let's say put your hands on the keyboard, just press any key, whatever key, doesn't matter if you have a picture. So just press any key on the keyboard and you have a picture. Yeah, so, yeah, I got a moment. That's very good. All right, guys. So now I'm going to ask you, what do you see? Now tell yourself, what do I see in this picture? Do I see a hotel? Do I see a beach? Do I see a pasture? Do I see animals? Do I see houses? What do I actually see? What do I see in that specific picture? What do you see? Just press the keyboard if you get a picture, yeah? Just to press the keyboard. It's very good, guys. Australia, Sydney. All right. Awesome. Now I want you to focus on what colors do you see. Try to distinguish the colors and see what colors do you see in that picture. If it's the beach, maybe you see the water. You would say, oh, that's blue. And I see the beach itself. That's brown, light brown sand. There's a clear sky, which is light blue. Try to focus on the collars. Hit the button if you actually got something. All right, so this is working well. Good. Now, what emotion do you feel? What is your emotion at that specific moment? What emotion do you feel? You feel happy. You feel satisfied, content. You feel cheerful. Do you feel whatever, upset? You feel calm, right? You feel serene, right? You feel whatever. Okay, good. Now, what is the position of your body? Standing? Are you sitting? Are you lying down? Are you walking? Are you running? Are you trotting? What is the position of your body? Okay. Now, if you have that, what's the temperature? What is the temperature? Do a wild guess. Was it cold? Was it hot? Was it fair? What was the temperature? Was it enjoyable? Now I want you to focus. That is fantastic. Right. Very good, guys. So we even have specifics here, like 20 degrees. That's amazing. Very well done. All right. Now, what sound do you hear? What sound do you pick up? Is there any sound that you hear in that moment? So we're still in the holiday. We're still in the holiday. We're taking a specific moment. Just a second, a few seconds, a specific moment. What sound do you hear? Right. Now, the question for everybody. Were you able to get some of these perceptions? Were you able to get to answer these questions for yourself? Were you able to analyze that picture and get your emotion, get your body position, and get the temperature, get the sound, get the colors, get... Fantastic. All right. It's well done, guys. That's amazing. So I want to run this a little bit more with you, all right? I want to run just a little bit more. And the reason why is that when we start to focus on that positive stuff, something interesting might happen. You might actually start to yawn. Maybe you did already. Now, when you yawn, it actually means that you're kind of like erasing charges, negative charges. You're erasing negativity from your system when that happens. Likewise, if you feel that you're becoming more bright, you do the same thing. Yeah, you're releasing that stuff, right? So let's continue a little bit more. Now, here's the next question. Can you recall a time that you felt happy? Can you recall a time you were happy? Yeah, I'm just going to do the same thing again. So find a time that you felt happy for whatever reason. Just find a moment you were happy. Now, what do you see? What do you see in that specific moment? Where are you, for example? Right? Where are you? What do you see? What colors do you see? Try to distinguish the colors. Focus on the colors and just keep your hand on the keyboard and just press the key whenever you have something so I can see things are happening there, right? Press any key. Beautiful. All right. Very good, guys. All right. So you have colors. Now, what emotion do you feel? What emotion? So this is a happy moment. You're recalling a moment you felt happy. What was your emotion? Okay, carefree. That's a nice one. All right. Now, I assume you guys actually found an emotion. All right. Now, what was the position, or what is the position of your body in that specific moment? What is the position of your body? Are you like upright? Are you lying down? Are you sitting in a chair? Are you hanging about somewhere? Are you in motion? What is the position of your body? Now, very good. You have that too. What is the temperature? What's the temperature? See if you can actually get that perception. Happy moment. What's the temperature? Good. Now, what sound do you hear? Is there any specific sound that you pick up that you recall? Specific sound. All right. Beautiful, guys. All right. So memories come back, right? Now here's the fun fact. You're recalling stuff that you probably didn't even know it was there in the mind. So, whoa, what is happening here? Right? My mind is just taking me there. I had long forgotten about this. And it's just poof, right there in your face. And now you're re-experiencing this. All right, good. So we're going to do another question, guys. This is well done. It's fantastic. We're going to do another question. Yeah? Can you recall a time when you saw something that you liked? Can you recall a time when you saw something that you liked? Whatever you liked. Maybe you liked a person. Maybe you liked an object. Maybe it was a car. Maybe it was a house. Maybe it was a forest. Maybe it was an animal. Whatever. Can you recall a time when you saw something that you liked? I'm going to give you a minute. Think of a time that you saw something that you liked. Now, if you have such a specific moment, all right, use the keyboard again. Just press any key. So I know that you actually have something. You're looking at something that you liked. Now, all right, that's fantastic, guys. Now, what do you see? What do you see? Just analyze that picture for yourself. Analyze it. What do you see exactly? Describe it for yourself. I see a person, I see an animal, I see a sofa, I see an umbrella, I see whatever, right? So you get there, right? Beautiful. Okay, what colors do you see? Distinguish the colors. Distinguish the colors for yourself. Try to analyze that picture again. Which colors are in that mental image? Which colors do you see? You can just kick the keyboard if you want. Press any key. I'm more than happy with that. All right, we're going to go to the next one. What is the emotion that you feel? What's your emotion? Yeah, do you pick up the emotion? You have the emotion? You feel good about it? It's beautiful, guys. Well done. All right, now we're going to go back to the position of your body. What is the position of your body? So again, are you lying down? Are you stretched out? Or are you sitting? Or are you upright and standing? Are you in motion? Are you walking, trotting, running, doing gymnastics, whatever? What is the position of your body? If you have that, what is the temperature? What's the temperature? That moment that you saw something that you liked. What is the temperature? Right? Now, if you have that, what sound do you pick up? What sound do you hear? Yeah, gymnastics. Beautiful. All right. Good. So I'm going to ask that question again. How did this go? How did this go for you? Yeah, were you able to answer to these questions? And actually, did you get these pictures? How did that go? Just a quick experience. How did this work for you? All right, good. All right, anybody else? Good, okay, beautiful. Great, all right, great, love it. Now, so, live music, I felt happy, beautiful, fantastic, guys. Love it, that's all great. So, this is a very, very quick drill, yeah? Now, we're going to, basically I need 5 more minutes. So just to recap, we have actually forgotten about a lot of nice things that have happened to us. And these nice things have been suppressed by the negative things and actually made you drop in vitality. And that vitality you can actually get back. Like I said at the beginning of the webinar, it's just freaking mind-blowing how fast you can do this. Now there's two ways you can go about this. You can actually run that process on yourself, because the book will actually provide you with lists. It will actually provide you with theory. It will provide you with lists, and it will actually provide you with some tools there that you can simply apply so you can run these processes for yourself. Now, there is also different processes. Let's say you've been meeting too many of the wrong people in your life, like narcissists. You get a lot of mental scars from that. Right? These people have been doing you in. Believe it or not, that book actually has lists to clean up those mental scars. Right? Now, let's say your memory is in a bad condition. You just tend to forget a lot of things. You just heard it and it's already gone. Right? You have lists in the book that will help you to sharpen up your memory. Likewise, there's a whole bunch of things that you can actually handle and improve upon. So it's got very, very simple processes. And if you would work with it, for example, if you do it yourself, like 10, 15 minutes a day, you're going to see dramatic changes in yourself. The beauty is remember that emotional scale. The book is going to cover that in detail for you. So you get a whole chart that actually lays out all the different behaviors. How do you behave, for example, well, let's say in terms of honesty, or in terms of responsibility, or in terms of communication, or in terms of reliability, in terms of friendship, in terms of sexuality. It's all there. There's the whole prediction according to where you're on that scale is there. The book will actually give you a test to find out where you are on that scale. And then actually there's ways to get yourself up. So now we're going to go from negative thinking more into positive thinking. The beauty is that this stuff actually sticks. So it's quite lasting. That's the beauty of it. You could also do the process together, let's say with a neighbor, with a friend, with a family member, and you ask each other the questions like we just did. And it works beautifully. Just imagine that what we just did, you would just do that for an hour. You're going to be a different person. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't do that. It's limited to like 1 hour. But I hope that you got a little bit of a taste of what it can do. All right. So from my own experience, these processes are actually life-changing. And that is what I wanted to share with you tonight. I want to end off with a quote from the book. And yeah, so Pavel, maybe you can actually put up that quote. There we go. Self-analysis will conduct you on the most interesting adventure in your life, the adventure of you. How efficient are you? What are your potentials? How much can you improve? Well, basically your intentions toward yourself and your fellow man are good. Basically, if sometimes clouded over with a not so pale cast of bad experience, your potentialities are a great deal better than anyone ever permitted you to believe. From the author, Hubbard. Now, as you can see, I've been promoting this book. It's been a life-changing book for me, especially because I did a bunch of these processes, and I changed a lot. It helped me a lot with family ties, social ties, and it incredibly helped me with business, to be honest, because I was just more positive. So to end off tonight, and after that there's a possibility to ask questions, but I want to give you the link because we actually have a very special offer And that offer is that the book is 17 euros. It's roughly 15, 16 pounds. And it comes with free shipping anywhere in the world. And you can have it in your own language. This book comes in Arabic. It comes in Turkish. It comes in German. It comes in my language, in Dutch. It comes in Castellano. It comes in Espanol Latino. It comes in Portuguese, and it comes in Brazilian Portuguese. You can basically choose your language. If you want to have a personal consultation on top, say, hey, Eric, can you explain me more? How do I use this? Then I'll be perfectly happy to explain that to you, even over the phone, do some more. So you actually get how it works and how you can actually put it into application. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. I'll let you guys have a look at the website. And in the meantime, I will just opt in my my WhatsApp number. Okay, guys, so we're a little bit over 9 o'clock. Thank you for your patience. Any questions? So Phil, yeah, thank you, Phil. Indeed, this is Scientology. Actually, when the book came out, it wasn't Scientology yet. It was still called Dianetics. That was still a forerunner, yeah. But it's well on its way. Yeah, thank you for your time and the link to the book. Thank you, Eric. So now you may at the same time think like, oh, but Scientology, I only heard bad things about it. Well, yeah, that's true, because you're not supposed to find out. That is the true answer. We went through COVID, and then you heard about alternative medicine, and that was basically smothered and suppressed, and these doctors were, you know, their licenses were taken away simply because they had something to offer that you were not supposed to know about. That is planet Earth, the way it operates. All right. So, guys, my number is there. In case you have any question, I'll be happy to help you out. We can do demonstration on the phone if you like to. I'm always happy to make new friends. That is the best thing for me in life. I want to thank everybody here for being here tonight. I see that there's a lot of people who are very happy, thankful with this presentation, with the technique. I can only say, if you want more, I can only say it gets quite addictive. It's fantastic stuff, and it's going to change your life and make you more you. In the end, that's all you want to be. You just want to be you. Here's a technique that will actually get you on your way to simply be yourself. All right. What we can find? What can we find? Record. We're gonna post that. Send me a WhatsApp. Send me a WhatsApp, and I will send you a link. Yeah. Maybe Pavel, can you do me a favor? Just type in the WhatsApp number one more time, just in case. Oh, you just did. All right. So the record is going to be, the recording is going to be on YouTube, but send me a WhatsApp. I'll be more than happy to send you the recording. All right, guys, I don't want to take more of your time. I'm happy to stay around. I don't know, never mind, but I just want to not take more of your time. I hope you are going to be back soon, because we're here every week. If you have any chance to come to Dublin 24 in Fur House, that's where we are. We also do introductory lectures every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And so feel free to come over and join us. For now, thank you so much for having been here. You guys have been great, very cooperative. I enjoyed all the chats. I'm going to have a look right after when we finish to see what you guys thought of it. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. So for now, have a great rest of the evening, and hope to see you again. Till next time.